William, Prince of Wales, and the man who quietly opened his childhood home so the rest of the world could keep visiting his mother. Kensington Palace has been William's family home since childhood, the place where he and Harry grew up with Diana before everything changed. Today, it's also home to one of the most enduring public tributes to her, Diana, her fashion story, a permanent exhibition running through 2026 that traces her evolution from a shy 19-year-old bride into one of the most photographed women in modern history, told entirely through the clothes she wore along the way. The exhibition's centerpiece is Victor Edelstein's iconic ink blue velvet gown, the one Diana wore at the White House in 1985 when she famously danced with John Travolta, a single image that's remained one of the most reproduced photographs of her entire public life. Alongside it sits another Edelstein evening gown, worn for an official portrait by photographer Terence Donovan, and a blue tartan coat by Emanuel, the same design house behind her wedding dress, worn during an official visit to Venice in the 1980s. That particular coat has its own small story. Long thought lost, it was only rediscovered and acquired at auction by historic royal palaces years later, a rare survival of her everyday wardrobe rather than one of her headline gowns. What makes the Kensington Palace exhibition different from a simple gown display is its focus on relationship over spectacle. Rather than just presenting finished dresses behind glass, the show explores Diana's working relationships with her favorite designers, including original fashion sketches created for her during the actual design process, giving visitors a rare look at how her most iconic looks were built, not just worn. It's a curatorial choice that treats Diana less as a fixed image frozen at the moment of a photograph, and more as an active collaborator who understood exactly how clothing could communicate: softness at a hospital bedside, formality at a state dinner, quiet rebellion at a White House dance floor. A related exhibition inside the palace's newly restored Orangery, called Royal Style in the Making, went even further in 2026, displaying Diana's actual wedding dress at Kensington Palace for the first time in 25 years, alongside a surviving toilette, an early fabric prototype, from Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother's 1937 coronation gown. Seeing both pieces together offered visitors something genuinely rare: two generations of royal couture, separated by nearly 50 years, displayed side by side in the building where Diana herself once lived. None of this exists by accident. Following Diana's death, William and Harry made the decision to use her former apartment at Kensington Palace for charity events and receptions, rather than let it sit closed off. A choice that eventually grew into today's public exhibitions, funded in part by a £12 million renovation of the palace itself. Kate has also used the space for her own charity engagements over the years, extending that same instinct. Rather than treating Diana's home as something to preserve behind velvet rope, the family turned it into somewhere the public could keep coming back to. Visitor reviews echo that sentiment consistently, people describing Diana's dresses as the highlight of their entire palace visit, admiration that's clearly outlasted her death by decades. It's a strange kind of legacy work for William to be quietly connected to. Not a foundation, not a speech, not a policy paper, but simply making sure the rooms his mother once lived in stayed open, and that the clothes she wore to say things she couldn't always say out loud remained somewhere people could actually see them. Nearly 3 decades after her death, Diana's presence at Kensington Palace isn't preserved through statues or plaques, but through gowns: a blue velvet dress from a White House dance floor, a rediscovered tartan coat, a wedding dress finally back on display after 25 years. For William, keeping that home open to the public has become its own quiet form of remembering. Not something he talks about often, but something that's been true, patiently, for years. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more royal updates.